hadn't explored yet? What up? Out here chatting with my boy before we go live. Say hey.
Hi. I'm eating Oreos.
Well, I guess we are live. You eating Oreos?
Mm-hmm.
You like those Oreos? Them Oreos delicious?
Yes.
Yes. What we gonna do about that hair, man?
I think haircut it.
Haircut it? No. Are you crazy?
I'm not crazy. I just want a haircut.
Haircut it?
I just want a haircut so I can jump scare my mom and do hide and seek more better.
How's a haircut gonna help you jump scare your mom?
Because it'll be so short that she can't see it.
Oh, so you wanna hide it? Well, we could braid it, and that'll make it short.
Well, you can braid it. I said it.
Yeah, when we braid it, it makes it short too.
Yeah, but
Then put you on a do-rag.
I think I should have haircut it sideways so theirs would be more shorter, like Hansel's and Jamin's. That's the same. This is the same hair that Hansel and Jamin has.
But your hair makes you cool, man. That's your unique do.
A little Oreo crumb right there.
You do have a little Oreo crumb right there. The camera don't lie. Facts.
Something on my arm.
What's on your arm?
It's just something. Just there.
Oh yeah.
It's just there.
It's just me and you. And Tupac and Biggie. Daddy's not officially supposed to be live for another 2 minutes. There's still turtles out here? I don't think so. No turtles?
I don't see them.
No? I think they all went back inside the pond. We got like 2 minutes.
Except that one
Alright.
little part over
If you're gonna be out here, you're gonna have to be quiet. I got like 2 minutes. Daddy's about to get on here and talk about deflection. You know what the word deflection means? No? Well, sit out here and learn something.
Look, who's that?
Oh, that's your big cousin. Say what up, cousin. Say what up, Jason.
What's up, Jason?
Oh, were you? No, you weren't at the family reunion. What up, cuz? Oh, Tim's on. All right, we got about a minute, maybe less than a minute. And I'm gonna go ahead and kick off this section tonight. A little prelude. Tonight I'm talking about deflection. And I'll tell you why. All right, Dre, get away. Get away, get away. Distracting. It's my boy. He's a handful, I tell you. Yes. Hurry up, it's almost 8. I like to be on time. Jason and Tim said, what's up? But we talking about deflection. And I think time's ticking. We just gonna go ahead and get started. And, welcome to the Revelations with Ray. 10 minutes, maybe a little longer. Tonight, like I said, I'm talking about deflection. And there was something that went down on one of our podcast posts that really made me want to talk about this topic. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of what this woman was attacking our new friend Jalen about. But it brought me to this word deflection. And the reason being is we have, and it really goes across the board to a lot of things that we see in the media and how people react to them. And anyway, on this post, this woman went in or somehow obtained some information about Jalen and his past and brought that up to try to attack his character and really try to bring down what he was. You off? Okay, sorry, I just read a comment and it kind of threw me. But anyway, this woman had found a criminal record in Jalen's past, or some criminal, and put that up on the podcast post, and was basically deflecting or attempting to deflect from the message that he's trying to preach now and get across. So basically saying that whatever he did in his past nullified anything that he was trying to do now for his community. And it really just not only threw me off, but threw several people on the post off as to, you know, what would make someone bring this up, or why would anybody, want to bring up something negative unless it was still going on right now today and that person was still involved in these activities? What would make a person bring another person's past up in order to tarnish their character or try to diminish or discredit them from any positive that they're trying to do in their life and in the world and in the community around them? And I noticed that when people, especially when cops kill unarmed people in the media, and we'll take George Floyd's case for example. This man got his neck kneeled on. We all know the story by now. And the first thing the deflectors, people that use deflection, ran to was, well, what about his criminal record? Or he did this, or he was high on drugs. This is a prime example of deflection. What George Floyd may or may not have been on, or what George Floyd criminal past was, has absolutely nothing to do with the matter at hand. The matter at hand being this man was slain, not allowed to go through the court of law that is set up here in America and get his day in court. And again, this woman was trying to slay my man Jalen's character over something that was done in his adolescence and had no bearing to what he was doing now today. And we see that a lot. And I just, for the life of me, can't understand how human beings in a land of second chances turn to deflection and try to deflect from the matter at hand. Like, I really want to know if anybody watching or somebody out there can tell me what possesses a person to talk about something that doesn't matter at the moment. Like, this is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about the past. Yeah, if you want to bring it up at some relevant time, but to allow past transgressions to be the dominating narrative and take away from the matter at hand truly baffles my mind. When people are killed unjustly and we're focused on what they did back then, like, that is the craziest thing to me. And I take it personal a lot of the times, because my history isn't clean. If I'm to get gunned down in the streets or choked out, the first thing I think people gonna say, well, he committed murder as a juvenile and he went to jail for selling drugs. And it's like, a lot of this stuff hasn't happened for 10, 20 years, but yet you have a deflection culture that will deflect and say, well, maybe he had it coming because he did this, this, and this, and he has a criminal past. And it really bothers me living in a system that preys upon colored men and lock us up at an alarming rate. So it goes hand in hand. Anytime something like this happens, they can just go pull up a record and say, oh, he had a record of some sort, so he deserved to die. No, people deserve their day in court. That's what people deserve. That's why we have a justice system. That's why we have a court system. People deserve their day in court. Sorry, I'm blinking my eyes. Neighbor's dog's running. But people deserve their day in court. And that's just the fact of the matter. If people don't deserve their day in court, then what the hell do we have a justice system for? What the hell do we have a court system for? Like, we should just do away with everything. So, again, word of the night, deflection. And so for people to deflect from the subject matter at hand is totally beyond my understanding. And it's not, we don't even have to just talk about it in terms of law enforcement. I mean, it can happen, between you and a sibling or a spouse. And it actually, this is a true revelation as I was thinking about talking about this topic today. When you want to bring up something, say, I'll just use a spouse as an example. When you want to bring up something that, may bother you about your spouse, or they want to bring up something to you that may bother them, our first thing is to go into defense mode and start deflecting from the issue. So for example, if your wife says she doesn't like the way you put the dishes away, and you start going in on, well, I don't like the way you read, or I don't like we're deflecting from the subject matter. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the matter at hand. We're trying to deflect and bring about something else. So I thought about it and I was like, before the next time I have a conversation with my spouse about something that I don't necessarily agree with or like that she does, I need to prefix the conversation by saying, okay, I'm going to say something, but I don't want you to respond like this is just me telling you how I feel, in order to quell the deflection before it takes place, and vice versa, because we need to soak it in and then say, and I don't want you to tell me anything that you dislike about me until a couple days later. Give you some time to think about it, because that really is what opens up the lines of communication. Well, it's like, well, if this person is open enough to be honest with me and discuss something with me that may be bothering them, let me soak it in, see how I feel about it for a few days, and then accept whether I want to change that or not. And now I feel comfortable going and telling that person something that may bother me. That's how you grow. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get better. You don't just, start deflecting when somebody starts saying to you, oh, well, this bothers me. And immediately you start telling them about what bothers you. That is deflection. And I'm guilty of it. I've done it in the past. That's why I said it was a true revelation of thinking that when someone's telling you something, like, you shouldn't immediately start digging at things that you want to say to them. And it's really important, for all of us to communicate and grow in that manner, because especially if we want to live amongst each other, if you're going to be in a committed relationship, like, you have to be able to communicate openly both ways. And this culture out here of people that want to just dig into people's past when things go down, I personally feel like it's totally wrong. Like, all of that stuff would have, especially for these unarmed people getting killed, all of that stuff would have come up in court. So to me, now when we're doing that, the people are turning into the judge and the jury. Like, nobody's getting selected, and we are. The jury gets picked from amongst the people, so in a sense we are, but people don't get their true day in court and have all the facts laid out on the line, because now only one person gets to tell their side of the story, and we're not going in and laying down the facts and all the misdeeds of the other person. So I just think we just need to be real careful about how we respond to things. I'm going to get off here shortly because it was a good one. It was, quick 10 minutes. I think deflection, I touched on that nicely, and I would just really encourage people to really think before they speak, and think about what it is that they're about to touch on in the context of what other people are talking about at the time. Because that woman posting that stuff had nothing to do with nothing. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like, it had nothing to do with nothing that's going on today, unless, again, that behavior was still carrying on today. But obviously the man's community's backing him or standing behind him, and nobody is treating him as such. So I just really think we need to be careful of how we want to criticize somebody's past, because we all made mistakes. We're all sinners. We all fall short of the glory, and we all have some making up to do. The only perfect being ever to walk this earth, according to any scripture, text, whatever, was Jesus Christ. And if people really were trying to be like Jesus, they wouldn't be making stupid deflecting comments like that. So that's my 10 minutes, a little bit plus, but that is the Revelations with Ray. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I love y'all. Make sure y'all go check out the podcast this Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Time, and like it on the Facebook page. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. You can check out the Grayscale podcast. Shout out to my boy Tim. The Grayscale is going black.